Hello, this is Amber Lowry, and I will be talking about heteronormativity, how and why we should overcome it. So we'll be talking about what is heteronormativity, why is heteronormativity harmful, and how we can overcome heteronormativity. So first, we'll talk about what is heteronormativity. So we need to know the difference. So first, heteronormativity is the presumption and privileging of heterosexuality. And the difference is there's also gender roles. The societal roles given to the sexes, particularly men and women, this usually excludes all types of intersex. So heteronormativity is like enforcing heterosexual, which is man and women, while gender roles is more societal roles. So heteronormative ideas are more often put at a higher importance in conservative areas, since the idea of same-sex attraction is deemed either a mental illness and or a biblical sin from a Protestant's viewpoint. Those with conservative viewpoints believe that the gender assigned at birth will dictate many aspects of your life, such as women being more submissive and feminine and men being more dominant, masculine, in what they believe to be an ideal partnership, heterosexual relationships. So number 2, why is this harmful? So what it does to an individual, particularly of LGBT person. So when you determine your sexuality, if you have these heteronormative ideas, you may deem yourself still attracted to the opposite sex when it's more just because you were taught these things and not actually because you have attraction to them. And in same-sex relationships, they will, for heteronormativity, they will assign one person the man of relationship, one person the woman of relationship, when many times they're both either both men, both women, both other. Outcasting in your own community of people, outcasting in the area which you live. This all because of heteronormativity. If you are a same-sex attracted person, this will happen because people believe in heteronormative ideas. So lack of community. If you live in a very conservative area, or you were just not able to leave your conservative household or any other type of place that you do not have a community, you will have a lack of community, and you will not be able to express yourself in the way you wish to or way you could. That would be healthy. And beliefs about oneself. If you believe in heteronormative ideals, you may think you are you were different, you were ill or something if you have had homosexual thoughts, or you are a person who is gay or any other type of LGBT. So my thoughts is heteronormativity disrupts the lives of those who live outside of the gender binary and expression, as well as those who are not heterosexual. It promotes conformity to those who do not fit into people's expectations. And what it does to a society. So homophobia, if your society believes in heteronormativity and gender roles and all that, if you do not fit into their expectations, they will show disgust, they'll show violence, and that is homophobia. So they will not, number 2, they will not understand you. They will think that you are different, maybe not in a hateful way, but they will not understand where you're coming from, which could feel isolating to a person of same-sex attraction. And lack of sex education. Those who do not get educated, for same-sex individuals, there was a thought that since you could not get pregnant, you did not need to use protection or contraception, but those individuals used to get STDs or STIs, which could have been prevented if they had proper sex education. So it's important to know that how it affects relationships. Those in same-sex relationships are pushed to assign one the man and one the woman. This is problematic because it pushes the narrative that relationships must follow the gender binary and that healthy relationships must have a dominant and submissive character. How it affects education. Same-sex attracted individuals will not be informed about how they need to protect themselves in relationships in an already poor sex education class given in high school or given in middle school, depending on where you live. So how can we overcome heteronormativity? I would say first we need to educate ourselves. If we do not understand ourselves, we cannot help dismantle heteronormativity. And once you have a basic understanding or an advanced understanding of heteronormativity, you can educate others, which will help dismantle the gender norms and heteronormativity ideas. Later on, we can have the school system put in place classes that teach LGBT topics, such as sex education for those in same-sex relationships, history of like Stonewall. We could teach about different types of sexualities and different types of genders, which will help dismantle heteronormativity and that mindset that it's man, women, and heteronormative. So later, we can start from the root. The root of the problem is mostly upbringing and your parents and your grandparents and those of a paternal figure, which could also be siblings, depending on what family situation you have. So start from the root. Visit parents of students who act homophobic and transphobic. This could also be treated for those who show racism or sexism and all that kind of things. But right now we're talking about homophobia and transphobia. So that would be a good way to root out the problem from its source. What's it called? So yeah, it can also be used for other things, but also this would be different from this basic education, because this is different from what other people suggested in books and all the sources, because they just suggested education. They not really suggest how and where, but this is how it's different. I feel like this would be a lot better as a plan, which would be a lot better than just basic education, which is just did not give a clear direction of where that would go. And these are all my sources, so that would be it.